everyone, and welcome to the LatinX Business Podcast. I'm your host, Randy Gomez, and if you're looking to demystify the world of business through the raw, authentic stories of Latinx entrepreneurs, you've come to the right place. As someone with an MBA and an IRS enrolled agent license, I spent years helping freelancers, partnerships, and S corporations navigate the often tricky waters of the US tax law. Now, I'm bringing that expertise and passion to this community right here. So thank you for tuning in, and you know what? It's time to talk business.
Hi.
Hello, Maria. Is that you?
Yes. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks for coming on to the Latinx Business Show. I'm very thankful that you agreed to do the interview today.
No, I'm so thankful that you invited me to do this interview. I'm so happy and excited.
Awesome. Well, when I heard your story, I said, this is a story that needs to be broadcasted and more people need to hear about what you faced as challenges. So yeah, I'm very, very happy to have you here today. But yeah, let's begin. So why don't you tell me your full name and the name of your company and what services or product you provide?
So my name is Maria. I am from Colombia, and the brand that I have is Maria Krangel Designer. So what I do is custom design. So I have done a little bit of designs for film and styling and video clips. And on the other hand, I do tailoring, and I have like a small boutique that I am working on to have more tailor-made and custom pieces.
Oh, nice. Okay, so if someone's looking for a special occasion, boutique dress or jewelry design, you can assist with that, right?
Yes, I will be more than happy to do the whole thing, like to do the measurements, to do fittings, until the dress is completely perfect on the person.
Oh, that's lovely. I know there's a lot of people out there that are looking for that specialized service. So, hopefully if anyone's listening to us out there, they can get your information, which we'll provide a little bit later in the show, but they'll be able to reach out to you as well.
Yay, that would be awesome. Thank you, Randy.
Yeah, of course. So, okay, a little housekeeping item. So I do ask everyone, what's your preferred pronoun? Is it she, he, or they, or, what do you identify as?
As she.
Okay, so we'll go with her and she for you. And within the Latinx community, how do you identify?
Oh, I'm a Latina, like a Latina girl, 100%. I'm Hispanic, I'm Colombian. You can feel it in the accent. I kind of sing when I speak in English and Spanish. I was not born here. My parents are not, I wasn't born, raised, or anything like in here. I moved years ago.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit more about Colombia. What part of Colombia are you from? And tell me where's your family from Colombia? Tell me that story, Colombia, and then we'll move on to how you got into the US.
So I'm from Bogota, the capital of Colombia.
Mm-hmm.
My family is from several places in Colombia, Santander, and that's north of Colombia. People from Santander most likely are go-getters. That's part of their blood.
Oh, wow. Okay. The whole city, the whole, that's what they're known for, to be go-getters, like entrepreneurs.
Yes, if you go into that, into Colombia, and you see the blood, how the blood works, it defines on a different area of where you are from. So people from Santander would mainly be yes, go-getters, but also people that would stand for what they believe, to fight for. So,
okay.
So that's part of my blood. That comes in my blood.
Yeah, no, that's very important. And it's all starting to make sense. You are an entrepreneur now here in the US, so I can start seeing the connections. But tell me more. How did you actually, you know what? Before we go into how you got to the US, what was, I want you to talk about your struggles in Colombia. How was that? Talk to me a little bit about, being a designer in Colombia.
Okay, so when I was out of the school, I wanted to become a fashion designer because I wanted to work in movies. And for family reasons, my family didn't want me to go into film school. So the only way that I could get into film was making fashion, costumes. And since I was 15, my dream was to be living in Hollywood or very close to Hollywood and do costumes for film and then do clothing for stages and musicians. So I come also from a family that is musicians, pianists, and
Okay.
music has always been part of also of myself. So when I was 21, when I graduated from the school, from the college or the university, I graduated on a wheelchair because I got paralyzed. I had a disease that is called Guillain-Barré, and I was paralyzed a month before I was gonna get graduated. So I had all my collection ready, and I had to go to the intensive care unit because it was an emergency. I was almost dying, and I was in the hospital for like a month. And after that, when everything was a little bit more normal, I was gonna be like, my graduation was already prepared. Well, everybody was gonna get graduated, so my dad asked me if I wanted to go into my graduation, and I said of course. So we asked the doctors, and when they said that I was able to go, I went there, and I graduated on a wheelchair. So
wow, you know, that speaks to your willpower of wanting to still continue something that you had accomplished and finish it all the way through, because, you know, so many people would just give up or say like, just give me a certificate, but I'm not showing up, you know? So I commend you for that, because it's not easy to show up somewhere in a wheelchair. And, you know, some people might think that, you know, in that state of mind, you might not be at your 100%, right? So how was that, graduating on stage, like on a wheelchair? How did that make you feel?
I don't know. I can just say it was fun in terms of like, I really wanted to see my collection. I had designed for men. I was the only one that was making clothes for men. So all my friends were musicians and they were on the runway, and I was not dressing them. So I was able to see my runway seating and not presenting from backstage. So obviously for my, like, from my point of view, it's amazing to be able to see everybody else's job and not stressing in the back side, you know, like the backstage is really stressful. So it was fun.
So it was fun, yeah. Versus like if you were in the back, then it would be work, right?
Yeah, and then you don't get to really see anything because you're more concerned of who's coming next and what's happening, and all that is different.
Right. Oh yeah, I can only imagine. I've never done anything like that, but that seems like a lot of coordination, a lot of work, and a lot of backstage screaming and running.
Yes, it's a little wild, but it's fun. It's fun too. So when I graduated, in my heart still was like, I really want to do costumes, you know, like I really want to do, you know, like I really want to do my dream. But life was like, okay, you have to stop. Like, so God just said like, okay, you have to stop and you need to relearn everything. So I had to relearn to walk, relearn to talk, relearn to do everything again. And when I moved here was really because I got the green card. And after have 10 years of applying for that. So when that happened, I was pregnant. And it was like, okay, I have to do it now. Then if I don't do it now, my dream of living in Hollywood is going to be over. So I just left everything behind. I left the studio that I had there. I left some of the things that I had started there already with my brand, where I was doing styling and I was doing some film costuming. And I had a brand as well, like the same brand, my brand that I brought from Colombia to here. And well, I was just like, I didn't know what was going to happen because I had a kid. So I moved here with my son. He was 2 months old when we really moved here. I left everything behind. And I came with $500, brokenhearted. I really didn't know what was going to happen with everything. I had broken up with his dad. So it was like, okay, now what? But I was living closer to Hollywood, right?
Yes. You know, Maria, that always amazes me because I was born here, of course, and I'm very grateful. And I understand, you know, how that could be a huge blessing, right? So the fact that you made the decision that you needed to cross not one country, but several to get to your location where you need to be, and you're here now, like that amazes me. So that I give you so much prop for that. Yes.
Yeah, thank you. So at that time, well, I came with, as I'm saying, with nothing, and God has been great. To be honest, I have been able to work in my field, and on the side, in these 5 years, because I in January is going to be 5 years of me being in this country.
Yeah.
I have been doing different things, working from a lot of different brands, and also, of course, I have always have my brand, and my dream is still alive. So it's more like when you dream with something, you just have to go for it, believe in yourself, and yes, sometimes everything may seem that it's falling apart, but we need to stick together to what we were dreaming.
Never forget the dream or that vision that you have. You know, I think that when I was like in my 20s, I feel like maybe I often forgot what the bigger dream was, because every day it can be challenging. You can have jobs that you don't know what you're doing in there. But I'm glad you bring that up, because if you keep in mind and you always go back and you refer to what the bigger dream is, then that's what's going to push you forward, you know?
Yeah.
That's what pushes so many people forward. Even in times where you feel desperate and you feel like there's no way you're going to get to somewhere else. I remember thinking or asking myself, like, why am I here? You know? And in retrospect, I can see that now, but it's taken a while. So definitely, I think that people need to hold on to those dreams and keep pushing forward. Let me ask you this. You came with $500 to your name. Like, where did you arrive? Who did you arrive with? Like, what did you do? What was the first thing you did when you arrived? Like, what have you been doing here in the U.S. to like sustain yourself aside from your fashion?
So, well, my mom lived here, but we have not been together like for about 15 years. So it was only like a relationship of jumping, like every 2 years or something. I would come here, stay here 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then go back. So I came to live with her and her husband. Of course, they are my family, and they were supportive with my son and I. But obviously, it was, to be honest, it was God and work. So in these 5 years, as crazy as this can sound, I was in my heart, like I have a responsibility with my son, like I have a responsibility. So in my heart, I was like, I want to buy a home for my home, like for my son and for me, so that this can give us peace of mind in many, like in situations. So in 2019, we were able to do it. So it has been a blessing. It has been amazing. I have worked hard. Yes, everything has been in the film, the fashion industry, and I have also been able to show some of my designs in runways where there were like contests, and the only 3 designs that I have done in 3 contests that I applied were shown. 2 were shown in TV, and 1 was shown in 2019 in the last Metropolitan Fashion Week. Between, like, it was at the end of the galas. It was an award night, and my design was shown among 5 top designers, like international designers of the world. So it was like a worldly kind of like runway, and it was really cool to be able to see people that is very talented and also see myself there. Like, it has been an amazing dream, dream.
Right.
and just little by little to be able to build myself in the industry that I have always been dreaming to be part of, if you know what I mean.
Right. Yeah, no. So hard work, obviously savings and dedication. And then 4 years later, you have a house.
Yes.
I mean, that is such an accomplishment. Let me tell you, there's so many people that were born here and are not at that place, right? So it is challenging, but the opportunities are there. And like I said, I think if you're open and you're willing to work hard and you're willing to work smart, then you're able to accomplish those dreams as well. But let me ask you this other question. As a Latina entrepreneur running your fashion brand, what has been some of the challenges that you think have either prevented you from moving forward, or there were just challenges that, took a while to overcome? Because it seems like you are definitely getting your designs out there and, putting a name out for yourself. So what other challenges are Latinas in the fashion industry facing at the moment?
Well, in my career in general, it's funny because I don't look the age that I have. So for a lot of jobs that I have applied, when they see me, like they can see my resume and then they see me, it's like, but you're too young, like that's one.
Oh, really?
Number two, well, because I look
Okay.
super young or younger than
Yeah.
what I really am, it doesn't give them like the security, like how are you gonna run like a company or something? And
yeah, no, you know why that's funny you say that? Because I think a lot of Latinos, we have good genes. So we look really young for a long period of time.
Yeah, it's true.
That is a blessing in disguise. Let's say that, right?
Yeah, it's true. On the other hand, of course, it has been, like challenging because this is not my country. Like, this is not my food. This is still, yeah, sometimes, like you don't feel 100% blended into. But the beautiful part of California, in my case, like I live here in LA, is like, to be honest, everybody's from everywhere. So you get the world in your hands. Like in one block, you can see people from all of the world, every color, every style, every eyes, everything, like a lot of things.
Yeah.
So I think that that's like a beautiful thing to be, I don't know, like to be here. So like challenges, in terms of like challenges, every single career has its challenges. You need to work hard. You need to show that you can do it. You need to show resilience, like you need to show a portfolio with what you really have in your hands, with what you do. And you need to be confident as well. Of course, I have had challenges as a single mother with my son, with the world itself, and sometimes with fear, like, so now what? When I came here, I had nothing, $500, nothing else. So I think that, to be honest, what has worked for me is God. Like me praying and then just God, show me what you want me to do. Just guide me, and not to be unfocused, like I want to be focused. Where do I want to go? Sometimes I forget. Sometimes it's like, like you want to go back to your country and have your friends with you. So, like some things have been challenging. But then I have also found people that have given their heart also to serve communities, to serve others. And I have felt that love, like, because I don't care if I have to say the truth. When I came here, I had nothing. And I went to a place where they were giving diapers. And I went there because I didn't have anything. So it's part of humbleness. I don't mind, like if I have to tell you, I didn't have anything.
All right. My next question for you, Maria, is what financial lesson would you want the audience to take away with them today? It could be for your business, anything that went wrong and you learned from there, or it could be a tax related item as well.
Oh, okay. So for financial, well, I will say it again. I came with $500. So from a point of view of a bank, to give a loan to a single mother, it's not sometimes like easy. So I think that people should really focus and create like a vision board of how do they see themselves or what they really want to accomplish and get. And really like think of, okay, let's say, for example, if I buy this coffee today that is $10 or $7 or whatever.
Right.
If you don't have that entire amount of money in your bank, do you prefer to drink the coffee that is made by somebody else that is $7 or $10 instead of buying your own house? So those are the questions that I would ask myself. I'm not saying that it's not good to go and spend money in, like in somebody else's restaurant and have fun and enjoy. That's perfect. But when you start thinking that that's every single day, like every single day of your week, that's where I just think, okay, so 7 multiplied 5 times, then this is the amount, so 35. So do I want to do that, or can I save it? So that's for me, that was part of the trick of being able to make my dreams come true. Because at the end, those are my dreams. Nobody's going to dream what I dream, you know?
Yes, you have to do what you need to do to get that dream accomplished. And that, that's so true. So many people, I think, will sit back and say, like, I don't know where my money goes, or how did I just spend, half of my check and I just received it. But to your point, I actually, I went back to live with my parents for many years at some point, and I no longer live with them. But that is because I made a financial decision that I needed to save more money, and I actually was blessed enough where my parents could take me in. Right? I know that other
Yeah.
situation you can, but you truly do gotta take a hard look and see, like, where can I make changes. So if you're paying $7 for a Starbucks coffee, right, like, why would you pay $7 when you can make your own coffee at home, and you can buy a bag for $10 and that's going to last you all month, and then creamer's like pretty cheap, a couple
Yeah,
dollars.
you can invite your
Yeah.
friends, have coffee with them. Yeah.
Exactly. So I'm glad you brought that up, because so many people, I think it's one of the hardest things for people to learn how to save. And not that it's hard to save, but when you have other priorities, when you have bills knocking at your door, expenses that need to get paid no matter what that month, they have to happen, your rent, your utilities, then, your priority is not your goal at that point, right? But I think, like, I love that you said, like, creating a vision board for financial goals, because I've always heard vision boards for, like, all time life goals and what your next phase is going to be. But a vision board for a financial goal, I think, is very important, because that will show you the path of how you need to get there.
Yeah, it helps you to really go forward to what you really want and what you desire. So you stop like just, like wanting this and that and that and that and that, and then you don't even understand why do you have so many things. It's like using your mind to focus. Probably I learned that when I was paralyzed, because my
Okay.
main goal was to walk again. And there were some doctors, like one of the head doctors, director of the hospital, when
Okay.
I was in rehabilitation, she would tell me that I was never going to walk again. She used to say
Wow.
that, and she used to say that I was never going to walk. If I was going to do it, I was going to take more than 3 years, blah, 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 or whatever. So she said a lot of things like, you're never going to, like do fashion. You're never going to wear your high heels. You're never going to do this, that, whatever. So I guess that it was like, no, no, no. The last word is God, the one that has the last word. And myself, I'm going to do as much as I can. So I
Right.
envision myself getting out of the, like the bed, and out of the wheelchair, and out of the walkers and all those things. And well, here I am running my own race with my son. He's 5 already. We're living here. It has been tough, like, of course, the pandemic it hit me. I was like,
Right.
what am I going to do with my life, with my home? Now I have a mortgage. Please, God, help me. So yeah, it hasn't been easy, but I guess that you cannot lose joy and not lose hope.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I love that. And that's funny that you bring up your son, because I was going to ask you, any challenges you face as a single mom here in LA or in the US, like, how have you dealt with those?
Oh man, I could tell you I have had so much challenges. My son is very smart. He's very, very smart. And smart kids, naturally, they get bored really easy. So you have
Right.
to have a plan
Yes.
of action. Every 5 minutes, you need to have something new. You have to be very creative. And at the same time, you need to have like a routine. So it has been challenging, but it has also taught me a lot of things, because I see my life with my son, and I would not be the woman that I am today if it was not for him. Probably I would have never bought or invested in a home if I was not with him. So he has been my anchor. He has been my dream, like all of the dreams, but
Yeah.
bring them back to not to dreams, but to things that are real because
Right.
of him, like I want him to feel secured, and protected and loved. And yeah, it's hard as a single mom, or even as a parent having kids. It's not easy. But when you work together, like I tell my son, like, we are a team. You are my family, like, you're gonna go wherever you want to go, but take me, like, I take you, take me. In fact, he comes, like when I was in the runways, he was
Uh-huh.
like number one fan was my son. He would help me making dresses. He would help me, like help me in terms of like being
Yeah.
around and
Yeah, of
the
course.
fabrics and, you know, so he's my teammate. He's my partner.
Oh, I love that. Yes, he's definitely your anchor and your motivation that keeps you moving forward. Well, listen, what if like a young Latina girl walks up to you and tells you, what do I have to do to be a fashion designer or to make it in LA? What kind of advice would you give someone? Yeah.
The question that I would ask them is how much do you really want this? And what do you really need? What do you think that you need to do? That would be like the question that I would ask them first. The two questions. Then I would say like, I can help you with knowledge in terms of like design or guide them through the process of becoming a designer. But the most important thing is, where does your inspiration come from? And secondly, don't you ever dare on giving up on your dreams and your vision, because there's going to be many people that would say, I don't like what you do, or why don't you change this, or if you would have done this or that. And you need to be really strong on your beliefs in a good way. I'm saying this, like not like a rebel. Because if I say, okay, we need to change this because in the pattern doesn't work, that's another point of view in a technical
Right.
perspective. But in your heart as a designer, you need to go get it. Like, what is your dream?
Yeah.
Like, I dream to become one of the, I don't know, most known designers in the world. Okay. So keep in mind that if you want that, you have to fight for that and enjoy what you do and love it, because this is about passion. It is about passion.
I'm so happy you bring that up because, it's so tough day to day. Sometimes that could be the hardest, right? You're like working really hard, you're working late hours, and you're like, what am I working for? So I agree. So I thank you for giving that advice to our younger community, anyone that's looking to be in the fashion world, because I have at the end of the day, I always turn back and look about what made me stay in the tax field.
Yeah.
I didn't have this background. I'm not a traditional accounting student who goes through the ranks of getting an accounting degree and getting a master's in accounting and then becoming a certified public accountant. I have a very unconventional way. I did sociology and art in undergrad. And then for my master's, that's when I switched over to business. And for me, it came out of necessity. I needed to work and I needed to make money. So I took on extra hours and I learned how to do taxes. And then the IRS trained me. So I became very knowledgeable and I learned very fast. But it wasn't like my goal or dream, right? But like to me, it's always been like to be an entrepreneur, to be my own business owner. So if you don't look at what is the greater picture within what you're doing day in and day out, I think that's when sometimes people get lost.
Yeah.
Not to say that, it's wrong. I mean, you learn from it and you move forward, but yes, I'm so glad that you say that passion is so important, because I think now I'm so passionate about helping small businesses and helping my clients succeed.
And that's beautiful. And thank you for having me.
Yeah. And also, you know what? Let me ask you another question, because you were mentioning how the pandemic hit. How did that affect you personally and your fashion business?
Well, so personally, I was, of course, working in another, like in another industry while I was doing my designs.
Okay.
And I lost the job that was like the secured income. And it was like, okay, how am I going to live now? Like I have a mortgage, I have a kid, now the pandemic, and then what are we going to do? And the world is, like I was thinking the world is falling apart. But to be honest, yeah, I cried and it was like I was depressed and what am I going to do? Like I was scared. And of course, like you start thinking, but who's going to buy, like clothes, because that's not something that is essential, like food and all of these crazy things. But what has saved me from becoming crazy or losing my mind has been sewing and going into myself, designing, creating. So right now I am designing dresses with fabric that I hadn't been able to use because I was always working for somebody else. And I
Mm-hmm.
am designing right now a collection that is like brocades, arabesques, like red carpet type of dresses. And I have been
Okay.
enjoying this so much because I'm not expecting right now a client that is going to buy that, but I want to make like a show, like this was what the
Mm-hmm.
pandemic meant for me, like a way of
Yeah.
reinventing myself, a way of learning from myself, a way of going back to the fabric and pin it to the mannequin and like maybe like you can imagine like those dresses of let's say France, the queen's dresses, like big dresses with, I don't know, like dream. That's really like the pandemic has hit me in a good way and in a bad way. But I still believe we need to hang on. We need to support each other, especially small businesses. We need to just grab hands and stop buying the Starbucks coffee, but go to the person that that has a smaller cafe and support that. Like we need to give the hands and build each other up. That's like my point of view and what I have learned from this situation.
Yeah, from the pandemic. And you know what? The pandemic, I think, has forced so many people to shift and to reevaluate who they are and what they're doing. So the fact that you are working on a whole new lineup collection, red carpet dress, I think is amazing. That shows me your resiliency, shows me that you will never definitely give up and that you will always continue. Right? So what's that phrase in Spanish? No hay mal que por bien no venga. Right? I'm like that phrase. I the more I live, the more I'm going to live by it. Like you have to go through some hard times, or else you don't appreciate you. I mean, it's sad to say, but like sometimes I feel we do have to go through hard times to appreciate the good times and the other stuff we have, right?
Yeah, I learned that when I lost my movement. I lost all my body. I was only able to see, nothing else. I couldn't move anything. So when I have my
Wow.
body back,
Yeah.
it's like I want to do everything that I can, like I want to take care of it. I want to jump as high as I can with my son and, like enjoy. I just can say like to people, I would recommend people just love on yourself and love of the people that you have around you, your friends, your family. I know, like some states and the world has locked us down and all that, but don't lose contact because whether it's a call, whether it's a hug, like I will send right now hugs to people that don't even know me so that they don't feel lonely. And I think that's very important
Right.
right now that we build each other up, that we show our human side and lift up each other. We are alive, like, and that's a blessing. That is a blessing.
Mhm.
So,
Oh, yes, for sure. Definitely. And I love that. All right. Well, you've given us so much great information, Maria. I'm so happy I had you on the show. I have a couple more questions, but hey, let's say someone wants to contact you, wants to get that special dress made either for a backyard wedding that's happening at the moment. There's so many of those happening. How can someone get a hold of you? Do you have a website, Instagram?
yeah, so you can find me on Instagram and Facebook as Maria Krangel Designer. And then the website is www.mariakrangel.co. That is because of Colombia.
Gotcha. Okay. No, that's fine. That's fine. I will also have the information in the podcast notes. So I'll put, your website and your handle, Maria Krangel Design, and then they can look you up that way.
Thank you, Randy. It has been awesome to share this time with you.
Yes, yes. Oh, and before we leave, one more thing. What is something you would recommend the audience today? Like, do you have a book or is there a quote you live by? What would you recommend for someone, especially right now during this time that's crazy COVID-19 era?
Okay, yeah, it is crazy, but the quote that I would give you it says this: "For I know the plans that I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you, give you hope and a future. And my favorite book is called the Bible. So that's where I go to, and that is my cheering up book, my hope book, my love book, my don't give up book.
Mhm.
And when I have felt really lonely and anxious, because I have had very hard moments as a single mother and
Yeah.
just like Colombian in the world, it has been God, it has been Jesus, the one that has been just backing me up. So for the people that really would like to just read that I said, the quote is Jeremiah 29:11, and just look it up. Maybe it will highlight something in your soul. That would be like my quote for the day and for the rest of the life.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that. I know definitely, the audience will connect with that. So, again, thank you so much for your time today. I appreciate it. I know you're working jobs and you're a single mom, so I know I gotta let you go, but thank you again for being on the show.
No, thank you, Randy, for this moment, and God bless you, and God bless this whole project that you're doing.
Thank you so much for joining me on this episode. Please take a moment to subscribe, rate, and share this podcast with your network. Your support helps our Latinx business community grow stronger with every listen, and I truly invite you to connect with us. Send us your questions, your comments, or even your own business stories to randy@rgtaxes.com. I would love to hear from you. Until next time, keep learning, keep building your business, and keep growing your business mindset.